the idea being that when someone comes in, their main goal is not to get hurt. And the secondary goal is to strengthen the areas that are weak that might cause injury. And that's kind of like the whole objective here. So Tanner's assessment takes a really, really specific look at one set of muscles. And the reason we talked about this first is because those are the muscles that are most commonly linked to back injuries, or that's the movement that's maybe most commonly linked to back injuries, which is the deadlift, or it's just like leaning over and picking something up. And one other thing that we thought would be interesting and important to bring up here is this idea of flexibility, mobility, and whether or not you should be able to do the movement if you're flexible or not. So I'm going to lead you into this, Tanner, and then let you take it from where we talked earlier. The question is always, if I'm really flexible, why am I getting hurt when I lean over and pick something up, right? Like, so you might be able to relate this as a viewer, like, okay, I can bend over and touch my toes. I'm really flexible. I do yoga all the time, but I get hurt when I lift something heavy. And then the opposite side of that might be like, hey, I have this friend who's really tight hamstrings, can't bend over and touch their toes, but is super strong and can pick up a bar where I can't. And I'm like, and then it's confusing, right?
But basically, you need to learn it in a safe way that's not going to get you injured, is a progression to be able to do a standard conventional deadlift. For the person who lacks flexibility, but knows the pattern of hinging and bending, they don't need to be deadlifting because they need to acquire more range of motion, more mobility. Again, we can get in the weeds of what those programming decisions are, but the programming decision emphatically is not day one, week one, here we go, find a very tough set of 3 touch and go deadlift. Like, will it get you hurt? I don't know, maybe not. But the fact is, if we keep doing it without getting the requisite mobility in order to do it safely, you fucking will get hurt.
Your odds go up every time you touch that movement, basically.
Yeah. So for those of you out there who sit in either camp, just know what you're kind of up against when you're in that bending or that hinging pattern. Because it is important, it is necessary, not just to strengthen your hamstrings and your glutes just because we think that's cool and we think that's awesome, but it's functional and it's related to longevity and fitness, because the stronger your hips and the stronger your hamstrings and your glutes and all those muscles in the back of your legs are, the more that it's going to protect, say for instance, your knees over a long period of time if you've been a runner and someone that has a lot of like squatting and knee dominant type of exercises under your belt.